Holiday EDC here. This is my Benchmade Bugout. It's a really nice knife that I quite enjoy carrying. Just wanted to give you a rundown on it, quick overview, show you a few things about it. So first I'd like to start off with a quick comparison of a few things. Here's my Leatherman Wave. It's a 4-inch multi-tool. A lot of people do have one of these, or if you don't, you've seen one before. It's a pretty universal multi-tool. Here's a wrinkled up old dollar I have here. It's a little bit shorter, something that most people can compare to. Might as well bring in another piece of currency. Just like that. Something. So this overall length is just about 7.5 inches. Just under, it's like 7.45. The blade length being 3.25 with a cutting edge of 3 inches. It does have a premium blade steel of CPM S30V. S30V I have no complaints about. It's one of my favorite steels. It's very reliable, good edge holding. I can get it back pretty easily. It's a little bit to work on, but the edge retention works for it. Definitely a nice grind. I got a high flat grind. There's a little bit of flat at the top there, but so it's not considered a full flat grind. It's got this swedge at the top here to give a little bit more piercing capabilities. It's a thumb stud action knife. You can sit here and slow roll it out, or you can flick it out. If you're lucky, you can get the reverse flick. Also has the access lock here, which Benchmade is very known for. So you can sit there and flick it out all you want. Very easy manipulation, which the access lock is very strong. I've had no issues with it. It is an ambidextrous lock, so lefties will be able to use the lock just as well as righties. The pocket clip on here, deep carry. I mean, that much is going to be showing out of your pocket, if that. It's a pretty sturdy steel clip. Both reversible. Well, not on these micarta scales, but do have the old scales, so if you do just want to keep the original Bugout, does have screws for both sides. These are the Grivery scales that came with the knife. I did like the green and the overall aesthetic, so I decided to keep the green, but just mix it up to micarta. Gives it a little bit more rigidity in the knife. These scales are nice, but I mean, you can see there's a little bit of flex there, which, you know, I mean, Grivery, you can call it just fancy plastic, really. But I had to trade those out. So now you can see very little, if not none, play in those scales. It does have titanium thumb stud and titanium back spacers to match here. Lanyard hole. I did have a lanyard on this knife for a little bit, but just got in the way of opening and closing, and I thought I'd try out the lanyard gig. It's not for me. So just rocking how it is now. Give a close up on the Benchmade logo there. It's a dirty knife. I mean, I use it. That's for sure. It's been through a few sharpenings. You know, I really can't complain anything about it. Decent knife. Ergos. Has this jimping right in here to where you put your thumb right there. You can get some good purchase. Has that blade pointed down a little bit. So hardware here, we got T10 screw in the pivot, and then the rest are going to be T6. Same with the pocket clip screws there. You can see micarta going on the inside a little bit better because it's just the single layer, but it's very nice scales, and I love the texturing, how it dips in for the access lock. For ease of access, your finger kind of just goes in this little path that they carved out here, and you can see that that's not really on the previous scale. The access lock kind of just pokes out there. This one has the little bit of a groove for your finger. This knife is running on phosphor bronze washers in there. I don't know if you can get in there and see quite. It's a very smooth feeling knife. It took a little bit to break in, but I mean, now it's basically drop shot. Flicks out wonderfully. I mean, it's a Benchmade Bugout, very light. Every time I hand this knife off to somebody, to like, hey, you want to check out this knife? First thing they say is like, wow, it's so light. And that has to do with, I mean, very light scales, just barrel spacers to keep the knife apart, and blade stock thickness being very thin and slicey. Coming down to a fairly nice tip there. Very nice and slicey, pointy tip. Now, I do not clean this knife regularly, and one thing I have noticed is how much pocket lint does get stuck in that access lock, but air compressor it out and it'll be fine. Alright guys, that is the overview of my custom bug out. Have a great day, everybody.